Hello everybody and welcome once again to A Shade of Pink Africa. This is the last episode in our series, so I'm quite excited. So, welcome back. In this final episode in the series, I want to talk about self-love, and I think it's very important, especially when you're coming out of something traumatic. And, I used to look at Instagram and Facebook, and I used to think, all these people posting selfies, all these people who are busy promoting themselves, what's that all about? They're really vain, they're taking 500 pictures of themselves, and I have to step back and say, what's your problem really? They're loving themselves. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with being happy with who you are. There's nothing wrong with empowering yourself. For goodness sake, if you don't love yourself, who's going to love you? And in previous episodes, I talked about loving yourself. It is so crucial to progress in life, because if you don't think you can do it, you're not going to do it. And let me take you back to when I had breast cancer and I had removed my breasts. I talked about how I had wanted to preserve them somehow and take pictures or something, and I chose not to. I decided to make the best of what I had left. What did I do? I put on different color hair, and I painted my nails different colors, and I wore bright colored things, and I found ways of celebrating my body the way it is. And that has been so important to me, is to make the best of where I find myself. And that applies to whatever trauma, whatever challenges that you faced in your life, is that you can look back. Looking back is okay to remind you where you've been, but you need to look forward, because if you keep looking back, you're not going to progress. Sometimes it involves just taking a leap of faith. Just saying, look, what have I got to lose? What have you got to lose in looking good? I remember I would get up, I'd put on my makeup, and it wasn't that I felt great. It's funny how you start off being really miserable, and when you start surrounding yourself with joyful things, your mood actually changes. And that's one of the funny things about when you're a bit depressed, or when you're angry. When you are angry with somebody, you have to keep on reminding yourself about why you're angry about that person, because the human heart has the capacity to forgive. You find no matter how bad you felt about something today, by the time you wake up in the morning, you've healed. And you have to keep on sitting down there and picking open that wound and picking away at that self-confidence to go back to the state of depression. So why do you want to sit down there and worry about what you've lost? Focus on what you have left. Focus on what you've gained. Like I said, I have gotten so much experience since this cancer episode. As I said, it's made me so much better, because things don't faze me anymore. I used to worry about what people think about what I'm wearing, what I'm not wearing. Now I don't care. If I want to wear breasts, I wear breasts. If I don't want to wear breasts, I don't wear breasts. I don't care what people think. People will tell you, oh, do you think what you're wearing is appropriate? Do you think that what you're doing is appropriate at your age? Make yourself happy. Happy that you have one life. Celebrate life. And celebrating yourself is not being vain. Celebrating yourself is reminding you of all the reasons you have to be happy. Celebrating yourself is giving you the drive to move forward. Celebrate every success. You may decide that once in a week you're going to go and do your nails, because that's what makes you happy. You may decide that once a week you're going to go on date night with your partner, your boyfriend, or your girlfriend, or whatever. You decide what you're going to celebrate. There doesn't have to be some landmark, massive, gravy, humongous thing. For me, every single day I wake up is a day for celebration, because this life is not promised to anybody. During these COVID times, we're hearing that people are going. I know 3 people this week who have died. People are dying every day of one thing or the other. Life is constantly changing. Things are never going to be the same. I read somewhere that you're the youngest that you'll ever be now, and you're also the oldest that you have been. And I had to think about it. I said, but it's true. I will never be this young. In another 1 hour's time, I'm older. So why don't I just celebrate it? Be happy. If you want to color your hair purple because that's what makes you happy, go for purple. If you want to celebrate the fact that you've gotten up in the morning and that's what makes you happy, or you bought a new pair of shoes, celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Life is about celebration. Tomorrow is not promised to anybody. Make the most of where you find yourself. Because one thing I've learned, and one thing that this cancer journey has told me, is that no matter how much I think I'm having a rough life, No matter how bad I think my situation is, I have come across so many women, so many people who are a hell of a lot worse off than I am. So I've learned to count my blessings. It may not feel like they're blessings at the time, but when I look back at where I'm coming from, I realize that I have so much to be thankful for. I realize I've come so far in my journey. I look at where I want to go, and that keeps me humble because I know I'm so far away from what I want to be, but I'm making progress. Baby steps. Every day is a baby step. Every day is a baby step. Some people ask me, oh, but Abigail, am I going to die? And I tell them, we are all going to die. It's guaranteed. From the day you're born, the only thing you're sure of is that you're going to die. You just don't know when you're going to die. So I tell people, can we stop focusing on if we're going to die? Why don't we focus on living? Go to bed at night, thank God for life. Wake up in the morning and start again. There's no point carrying things that you cannot deal with. Learn to separate the things that are yours to do and the things that are not. You know, when my mother passed, it taught me that I had no control. It allowed me to realize that there's things that are my job and there's things that are God's job, and I cannot do God's job. Let us not take on burdens that are not ours to carry. Just continue to do your very best. Continue to live your best possible life, because you're only given one life. This is the one life, the one chance you have to be happy, the one chance you have to reach out for your dreams and do something with your life. So in closing, I hope you've enjoyed the series. If you do, please subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and let us know how we're doing, because this is about you. I don't want it to be about me rabbiting on about how I feel about things. Let's make it interactive. Let's talk to each other. Let's grow and learn from each other, because ultimately the whole point of A Shade of Pink is that we share, we educate, and inspire. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys. Stay blessed, and we shall see you again in series 2. Take care. Out.